Welcome to Vienna. Today, though, we're not just sightseeing, we are running. So get ready for an immersive virtual run right through the cultural heart of this incredible city, where we're going to hit our stride and soak in centuries of history. Ready to lace up? So here's our distance, a solid 5.6 kilometers. It's the perfect length to really experience the city, long enough to find your rhythm, but short enough to stay sharp and focused. And here's our target. The average time for this route is just under 35 minutes. So let's settle in, find a nice, comfortable pace, and get ready to run through a little piece of history. All right, we're all warmed up, and we've got our route. It is time to explore Vienna's cultural heart one stride at a time. Let's get moving. Oh, and before we really get going, a huge thank you to Kinomap user Angel Tomorrow for sharing this incredible journey. It's a fantastic route, and we really appreciate you mapping it out for all of us. And we're off. Our run kicks off along the Danube Canal, and we're starting with a taste of modern Vienna. Forget the grand imperial city for a moment. This is where you feel its contemporary pulse. It's an amazing hub for art, recreation, and some seriously cool street art. It's actually hard to believe this was once the main arm of the Danube River. Today, the 17-kilometer waterway is pretty much the recreational spine of the city. As we run, you'll see people cycling, walking, just relaxing. It's the perfect flat start to get our legs moving. Let's keep it a nice steady pace right here. Okay, we're turning away from the water now. As we head into the streets, I want you to think about something. What would a building look like if the architect just decided, you know what, straight lines are completely forbidden? Well, here is your answer, the Hundertwasserhaus. Now, this isn't a museum. It's an actual apartment block where people live. The artist Friedensreich Hundertwasser, he believed that straight lines were, and I quote, godless and immoral. So he designed this with these astonishing shapes, vibrant colors, and a total rejection of straight walls and floors. And if you look closely, you'll even see what he called tree tenants. Yep, trees literally growing right out of the windows. Okay, let's keep that rhythm going as we enter Stadtpark. We're moving from architectural rebellion to this gorgeous green oasis that's dedicated to music. It opened way back in 1862, making it Vienna's very first public park. And it's just a perfect spot for a run with plenty of open space. Can you feel that change in the path under your feet? Stadtpark kind of has two different personalities. On one side, you've got these flowing, curving paths of an English landscape garden. But as we get closer to the Grand Ringstraße Boulevard, it shifts to this more formal, French-inspired style with geometric flower beds. It's like getting two parks in one. But what really defines this park is its role as this open-air tribute to Vienna's musical soul. It has more monuments than any other park in the city. As we run, you'll spot tributes to musical giants like Franz Schubert and Robert Stolz. Just think of it as a hall of fame for composers. The undisputed king of this park, though, is Johann Strauss II. They didn't call him the Waltz King for nothing. He's the man who gave the world the Blue Danube, which is basically the unofficial anthem of the city. We're actually approaching his famous monument right now. And there it is, one of the most photographed spots in all of Vienna. But that golden gleam, it has a bit of a story. It was unveiled in 1921, completely gilded. But then, in 1935, the gold was stripped off, leaving it as plain bronze for over 50 years. It wasn't restored to the gleaming form we see today until 1991. All right, let's pick up the pace a little bit as we leave the park. We are heading for the grand imperial heart of Vienna. Our next landmark is a true statement of power and faith, an absolute Baroque masterpiece. This is Karlskirche, or St. Charles's Church. It was commissioned by Emperor Charles VI as a vow to God after a really devastating plague. It's this perfect blend of Baroque drama and classical Roman power. And notice those two massive columns out front? Yeah, they were directly inspired by Trajan's column in Rome. Okay, we are now officially in the Innenstadt, the inner city. This is the historic Old Town of Vienna, a designated UNESCO World Heritage Site, and seriously, every single building here tells a story. We're in the final stretch of our run, so let's soak it all in. This is it, the final leg. We're running straight through the pounding heart of Viennese high culture. The finish line is in sight, but first, we've got some of the world's most famous cultural institutions to pass. Keep that energy up. Look to your left. That magnificent building is the Vienna State Opera. It's been one of the world's leading opera houses since way back in 1869. And even though it was heavily damaged in World War II, it was meticulously restored, becoming this powerful symbol of Austria's cultural resilience. Now, look just ahead. We're approaching the Albertina Museum. It's both a former Habsburg palace and a world-class art museum. You're literally running past a building that housed both archdukes and priceless masterpieces. And you would not believe the treasures it holds. Inside is one of the world's greatest art collections, including Albrecht Dürer's young hair and his iconic praying hands, works so fragile they're hardly ever displayed. Plus, there's a whole collection stretching from Monet all the way to Picasso. Just an incredible concentration of art history. Here we go, the final sprint down Kärntner Straße. This street is like a timeline of Vienna itself. It started as a Roman trade route, became this grand 19th century boulevard, was rebuilt in a modern style after the war, and then was finally reborn in 1974 as the bustling pedestrian-only zone we're running through now. Push to the finish. And you've done it. 5.6 kilometers through the very best of Vienna. You ran past modern art, imperial gardens, Baroque churches, and legendary opera houses. An absolutely incredible journey through history and culture. Great job. You know, as you cool down, think about this. The places we just ran past, they aren't just separate points on a map. They all connect to tell the story of a city that evolved from an imperial capital to a modern cultural hub. They form a single, coherent narrative that you just experienced firsthand. Every city, every path has its own story. Today we discovered one of Vienna's. So the only question left is, what story are you going to discover on your next journey? Thanks for running with me today.